So, what somebody sent me is an old Wade & Butcher. Old. It looks like these are not original scales here. The blade itself doesn't look too bad. A little bit scratched up on the top, maybe some pitting there. But this is like a true wedge, or near wedge. This is old. This is an old razor. I'm guessing this is 1800s something. But first, I'll need to tighten that pivot pin. Tighten it up, and I'll clean up the blade a little bit before we sharpen it, and I'll show you how to sharpen this guy. Get a real nice edge on that thing. Doesn't look like there's any hone wear on it. That's good, or at least it was cleaned up. All right, let's see how she goes. So here we are with the Wade & Butcher. I took and tightened up the pivot pin, and I polished the spine, did a little hand sanding and polishing on there. But what I'm going to do is just sharpen it very, like the simplest way that I can do it. These Wade heavy grinds are about the toughest to do. So I know I already did a video on this, but I did geometry corrections and I checked the geometry on this one and it's fine. So the way that I'm going to start, and by the way, this near wedge, this is probably at least 150 years old. I'm going to start with tape on it, and boy, did I get a lot of questions about tape when I did the eBay video. What I'm going to do is I'm going to start with 2 layers of tape. And why are you starting with 2 layers of tape? Well, let me go back to the tape overall. First off, these heavy grind razors, I'm going to use tape. Quarter hollows, most of the time I use them, but definitely the near wedges, I always use a layer of tape. And I'd like to just use 1 if I have to. I just want to minimize the amount of metal and the width of the bevel, after I'm done honing it. But I'm going to start with 2 because a lot of times you do need 2. But if I start with 2 and I see that the bevel at the edge is pretty narrow, that's fine. I can pull 1 layer of tape off. But if you start with 1 layer and you see the bevel's real wide and you want to go to 2 layers, well, now you can't push that back the other way, if that makes sense to you. So what I did is I sharpened the edge here. I want to see how this will do. I want to see how close to the edge we are. Okay. I don't know if you can see that, but I can see some edge there, all the way to there. So that's good. Yeah, that took it all down. So this will be fine, and I think we're pretty close to there. A little bit on the heel. Now this does have a pretty decent smile to it. I may be able to just do this on a 5K. All right, that's what we're gonna do. I always like to go the minimal amount I can as far as the grit level. I mean, I'd rather start high and work myself backwards rather than starting this at a 1K and doing a bunch of grinding on the razor if it doesn't need it. If I can create an edge and cut that tomato skin on this 5K, I'm just gonna go with that. Now, the guy sent me this razor. He bought it off eBay, and it was, redone. Someone did it. There's new scales on there, and they told him that it was shave ready, and I looked at it under a microscope and the edge looked good. It looked like a pasted strop. It was real clean looking, but it wouldn't even cut arm here. So hopefully this will recreate that bevel there. It's not doing anything. I'm gonna have to go down lower. All right, we won't play. I'm going to go straight to the 400 here. I have a feeling that that edge was pretty well rounded. And what I'm doing is, I know you can't see it, but I am rocking that blade. What I'm doing here, I'm feeling for the burr. This thing's kind of like a knife. It'll actually create a little burr, and I can feel that. So I think that will do it. Yeah, it's got some on there. All right, this is a 1200. Oh yeah. And when doing this on these diamond plates, or even any of the stones, but especially these, you have to keep an eye on the tape to see that it's not breaking through. That one's a little folded there, but oh yeah. Let's work a little on the heel. I don't know, can you see that I have the toe lifted? Okay, that's good. Now, what I need to do, we're going to go to the next level, but I'm going to change this tape. I pre-cut the tape here. So that was a 1200 diamond plate. So now I'll go to the 5. Go back to the 5. Build a slurry. That'll make it cut a little faster and fill that gap between 1200 and 5K as well. I mean, I could go to a 2000 here, but I think this'll work. Because of this heavy grind, there's a lot of metal on the stone. The edge there is heavy. So it does take more work to do one of these than, say, a full hollow grind. And all of this metal that you see and all the slurry on here, that's all from the edge, obviously, because there's no metal at the spine. The tape's covered by the tape. So this is taking some metal off. And when I do these X's like this, I'm pushing down. I push down with my finger here, and I'm kind of lifting up with the thumb to create that torque, but I'm also pushing on my finger, so when I rock it, I start pressure here and take it all the way through. Let's see if you can see that. And you want to look for the undercut. It cuts all the way through. See it climbing up the stone? Oh yeah, beautiful. Nice. Yeah, we're definitely there. Okay, so now let's do some water. These are just one-handed, you know, and I can feel the resistance on this already, so it's really going to be a nice clean edge. You know, someone did ask me about how when I do my X's, the one-handed. First off, I do them differently, meaning I flip it towards the edge. I mean, most people, or they say that you should flip it on the spine, like that. I guess I've always done it like this. But what I'm doing is on this particular stroke, I push down with my thumb, torquing it down, and the finger stabilizing, and I'm rocking like that because that's a smile. When I come back, I'm pushing down with my finger, lifting up with the thumb, again, and rocking. Okay. That's it for the 5. We're going to come to the 8. I'm going to kill it. The reason I'm killing it is because I was at a 400 grit. Sometimes they will get a little bit toothy, so I'm going to lightly drag it on there. This could take a long time to bring it back because all the metal, but you can see, I guess it still cuts, but barely. That's all right. We'll bring it back here. And I'm rocking it here. Beautiful. Nice and easy. All the way through. Now let's do it on water, smooth it out some more. great feel. I can feel it kind of skitching along on the stone, meaning it's sticky. It sticks even with the tape on it because there's a lot of metal in contact with the stone. The bevel's fairly wide. Oh, you know, one thing I did want to mention regarding the tape. 2 layers of tape. All right, so let's go to the geometry. I measured the thickness of the spine. The spine was 247 thousandths. So just figure 250, 1/4 of an inch. The width of the blade was 6/8. So if you put that in the Dr. Matt Bevel calculator, you'll see the angle is 19 degrees, 19.1 or something like that. Now ideally we want to be at 16, so that's a little bit fat as it is, and then we throw 2 layers of tape on there, we're right around 21 degrees. Well, it is what it is. I still think it's going to work fine. Won't be like 16 degrees, but for a 150, 200-year-old razor, it's still going to work pretty damn good. Just to make sure. Yeah, it wasn't doing that before. It wouldn't cut arm here before. So that's the 8K. Now we're going to do the finish on it, and you'll see the finish stone in a second. All right. And we have it set up. This is a JNAT, Japanese natural stone. It is an Ozuku. The Ozuku is a hard Japanese stone, well, harder than my other ones, so it gives a pretty fine edge. What I'm going to do, so I'm going to create a slurry with my red little DMT, and I do this 2 ways. Or not 2 ways, but there's 2 steps to it. I create a slurry with this. And then I finish with Atoma. Now this does 2 things. It adds a little bit more slurry, but also it smooths out the marks from the little diamond plate that I used. I don't use the Asano stones, although I have a set of those. Show it up there. If anyone's interested in those, they're for sale. But yeah, no, I just take it to an 8K and bring it to here. All right, that's good. Now, oh, what I forgot to do is I will change the tape again. Now, I don't know if you can see this, but that black goo on there from the Super 88 tape, okay, just do like that and it'll come right off. And I just so happen to have a couple of layers here. As long as I'm at it, let me take a look at the edge. Purdy, purdy, purdy. Can you see that? Okay, let's get going on this. I'm gonna stand up and do this. the slurry that I build here, I think it's like a medium slurry. I don't like them real thick. I'm not trying to cut a bevel in here. This is very nice. It's quite sticky even with the slurry on there. It doesn't need much at this point, but I am rocking it. And what I'm noticing, it does kind of feel sticky with resistance, and as I keep going, the resistance doesn't change. There's nothing changing when I go back and forth here. So to me, that's a signal or a sign that it's time to dilute a little bit, go to the next stage. That's a fairly light slurry. And again, I can feel it sticking again. Doesn't take much. Okay. All right, one more. I don't like to go to straight water. I always like to have a little bit of slurry left in there, only because they can get, for me, too sharp. So this is a very light slurry. Some people like to go like I did before, just that far. These seem to be pretty good. So now at this point, I'm going to go as light as I can. Weight of the blade. Someone asked me the other day about weight of the blade. I said weight of the blade is for girls. But for your last half a dozen passes or so, girls' touch is okay. It's sticking like a bitch. And that's all she wrote. Can you see the reflection at the edge? It's very well done. Let's take a look. Yeah, buddy. Look at that. That's nice. So what am I looking at here? I don't know if you can see, but a couple things I look at. I look at the edge here. We can see it's super fine. It would be like a super fine toothy kind of thing. But I also look up here. I'm looking at see scratches up here on JNATs. That's kind of hard to see. But I also look up there. My depth of field changes, but you can see as I change the focus all the way down to the edge. So I kind of look at both areas, and that looks phenomenal. Now when I strop that, it'll just look perfectly smooth, and I'll show a picture of that too. All right, so that's it. I think what I'll do here is I didn't think I would do that, but I will do a test shave on it, and so we'll see you there. put her to the test. Very nice. It's very smooth, you know, these heavy grinds. Have that fairly quiet, heavy grind feel to them. That's nice. Moves through very well. That was a very nice shave. The razor did a great job. I have no complaints about it. How would it compare to, say, a more modern day type razor, maybe not as heavy of a grind? They're different. Those older razors shave differently, but that shaved really, really well. So I'm real happy with this, and I think that the gentleman who owns the razor is going to be real happy with it as well. So I hope you guys enjoyed that. As always, if you have any questions, email me, drmatt1911@gmail.com. All right, you guys have a great day. Enjoy your shave, and we'll see you real soon.